Average Dude has something to say about...
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. It has been a very long day. Bear with me. I would just love to relax. But you know what? This seems to be the battle of the sexes season. I mean, males versus females, females versus males. And both sides have members from the opposite gender that are tagging along the party line, in other words. It's kind of like the Democratic Party versus the Republican Party. They both stink. They really need to join together and actually work together for once. The radical feminists and men rights activists, you know what? It is time for equality, but it never ceases to amaze me that, when you see members of your own gender selling your gender out and blaming your gender in ways that really don't make sense, take a good long look at that particular person's, what's in that person's best interest, because usually you will find that they have selfish reasons for doing so. This episode is dealing with Hugo Schwyzer. He's a feminist writer and professor. Yeah, he gets paid to bash men. It's about his job. He wrote an article, see the link down below. Oh, Hugo, I am going to deal with you nicely. Quote, his article is called How Men's Rights Activists Get Feminism Wrong. Oh, men and women too, you might want to pay attention to this. This isn't condescending, or at least I'm not trying to be, but rather as a caution, because you might learn about what men really do go through. It's not all fun, okay? It's no surprise. I've already gone over this before. I'm one of those males that grew up in a household where the females called all the shots, bullied the husbands. The husbands were, worthless without their women, and my sister got treated a whole lot better. My cousins were all female. They got I was the one that got physically beaten, battered, yelled at, cussed at, verbally, emotionally, physically abused, and simply because I was a male. So Hugo, I am going to deal with you today, bucko, because I am calling your selfish, self-serving motivations for what they are. At the very beginning of this article of his, get ready for the drum roll. Quote, when I was getting clean and sober in a 12-step program. Okay, we're off to a bad start here. A chemical dependency screw-up is lecturing me, who I was physically beaten by women when I was a toddler. Yeah, guys, fellow men who have been beaten by their moms for just being a male child. This dickhead professional is lecturing us. Okay, continue. Quote from Hugo, it's time to stop blaming others. Hugo, speak for yourself. It looks like you had the opportunity to screw up. Some of us didn't have the opportunity. We were born guilty. Words of wisdom from Professor Hugo. Quote, I learned quickly that not all MRAs, men rights activists, were the same. Some offered thoughtful criticism while others offered only nasty invective. Oh, God. It's like, not all people are the same, right? Some people offer polite feedback while others insult you. Some are nice. Others are mean. What a revelation, Hugo! Oh, I'm so glad that you're here to broaden our horizons. No wonder he's the professor, right, people? Oh, jeez. More from Professor Hugo. Quote, I'm intensely interested in the ways in which men position themselves as victims. We're going to keep going. Quote, I've spent a lot of time in conversation with men who are going through divorce, something I've been through more than once. Hey, you're kidding, right, Hugo? More than one divorce indicates that perhaps you're the problem, not the women that you marry. And with a chemical dependency background, yeah, the problem might be you. Stop lumping the rest of the male population alongside you. We're not carbon copies of you, you screw-up dickhead. We're not like you. Not all of us have had chemical dependency backgrounds. Hey, I haven't, and I've never been divorced. Hey, you've been divorced multiple times. Oh, man. This is the person lecturing the rest of us. Males. Hey, quote. From so many of these men online and in real life, I hear the same thing. The narrative of helplessness. As a male kid, I was beaten. I asked for help. I was told I deserved what I got because I was a male. And I got beaten worse. I asked for help from my father. He did nothing, and he saw what happened. I asked for help from family members, and it got worse, and I got nothing. Nobody helped, Hugo, and I'm not the only one. There are so many men that grew up in a situation like mine, it's not even funny. Hugo, do your homework next time. You're a professor. You did no homework. You came into this with tunnel vision. You're spouting the feminist party line, just a pathetic follower, and it's because that's where the money comes from. Yeah, you're all about your job, money, asshole. God. No genuine research. Quote, men are suffering because their emotional, psychological, intellectual, and sexual potential is stunted by their own efforts to live up to an impossible masculine ideal. As a toddler, Hugo, I didn't have a masculine ideal. I was too damn young. A quote, it's typical but tragic mistake. MRAs wildly overestimate women's power. Oh, Hugo, you asshole. There was absolutely no overestimating the power of the females in my family growing up. Oh. Hugo, let me tell you something. My father was a coward. He watched it. He did nothing to protect me. Overestimating women's power, my ass. I quote, men, they insist, are helpless by comparison. At 3 years old, I was certainly helpless, Hugo. And again, this isn't even necessarily about me. I am not an isolated incident. There have been so many other guys like me, males, it's not even funny. Oh, you are a piece of work, Hugo. Quote, working too hard for female approval just makes you a mama's boy or pussy whipped. Or it could be that I was trying to survive because I didn't know if I was going to make it from day to day, you son of a bitch. Unbelievable. You condescending piece of crap. Beaten like I was in the face with anything, spatulas, metal objects from the kitchen, and I mean anything, being knocked off of bar stools, having bloody noses, bruises, and then having to tell everybody it's because I had a weak nose or allergies. Allergies, that's you piece of shit, Hugo. You are an asshole. Men are getting battered, beaten when they're kids. Hey, approval? Pussy whipped? We were trying to survive. Unbelievable. Hey, quote, so men are indeed architects of their own adversity. 2- and 3-year-olds are not architects of anything. They're not architects of their own adversity. They're not going to be able to stand up to a little boy or girl child, either or, is not going to be able to stand up to a full-grown adult woman or man. Unbelievable. Quote, this doesn't mean that each boy is individually responsible for his own suffering. First, factual statement that he has made so far. I feel that there's a but coming from Hugo. Let's see. I feel a but coming from Hugo. Let's see. Drum roll. Quote, but it does mean that the pain so many men feel and the gnawing sense of personal powerlessness is not women's fault. If a grown woman beats her male child, it's the woman's fault. If other grown women see this, know that it's happening, do nothing, or even worse, make excuses supporting the woman who is beating the little male boy child, they are guilty too. They are at fault, Hugo. Those women are all at fault. Stop blaming the victims, Hugo. Stop making it about your job and just simply saying what will... You're going the path of least resistance. You've been in the feminist field for so long making money off of it and putting a smile on women's faces, you've forgotten that men can be victims too, you piece of crap. And get your own life together, before lumping the rest of us in the same category as you. You screw up. The screw-up category. You're pathetic. Some of us did not have the luxury to choose to screw up. Some of us, as I said before, were born guilty, Hugo. We didn't have that chance. It must be nice that you did. Ladies, you are not all bad. Only certain females fall into this category, but they do exist. And it's not a good idea to ignore the stinkiness that's in your particular area. It was never a good idea for males, to pretend that their crap didn't stink. We need to be mindful of it. Everybody have a good day.